Yeah, oh yeah. It's all fake.
It's like listening
Nobody
to a
got
Facebook
arrested for
comment
it.
If we're going to go
section.
down the conspiracy rabbit hole, there's no point even talking about this because it's like
Yeah,
one
I know.
person is saying that the Earth is round
Again,
and somebody else is
it
saying the Earth
doesn't
is
fit your
flat.
narrative.
You're
It
a
doesn't
flat
fit your
earther,
narrative.
and there's no point in
Facebook comment
debating.
section.
I mean, if we're going to have that kind of conversation, if we're going to have that kind of conversation, stop screaming in my ear, please. If we're going to have that.
Hello, everybody. Guys, we got Piers Morgan panel. This goes completely off the rail. You have to see this cultist, Vinny from PBD, all the way in the right.
Bring in Julie. If you can answer it, answer it.
I can answer that question because Donald Trump went to meet the press yesterday and said point blank that he thinks that the January 6th committee committed crimes. What crimes? I don't know. Maybe doing their due.
Guys, pay attention. One of those cultists says they did. They did commit a crime, right?
Maybe doing their due diligence. Stop. Maybe doing their due diligence oversight.
We have got
and
that clip. Let's play. I'll tell you what. Let's play that. Julie, hang on.
They have immunity.
Hang on, Julie. I want to play the clip.
So the point here. Yes.
Let me play the clip again so we know exactly what you're talking about. We played it early, but we'll play it again.
This was a committee, a big deal. They lied. And what did they do? They deleted and destroyed a whole year and a half worth of testimony. Do you know that I think those people committed a major crime.
Sir.
And Cheney was behind it.
Well,
and so was Benny Thompson and everybody on that committee. For what they did, honestly, they should go to jail.
Yeah,
So what the hell is he talking about? So there's no. So let's just preface this. None of that is true. None of that is true.
How do you know?
Just because he says it doesn't make it true.
How do you know? How do
I know? Because I would assume that because his
assumptions are a very dangerous thing when it
motion.
comes to fact gathering.
Piers Morgan is such an idiot. Assumptions are a really dangerous thing. This is exactly what Trump is doing. Are you just such an idiot, such a cultist, such a grifter? You so badly want to be on MAGA side that you can't see that Trump is doing the same thing. He just believes that they committed a crime when they investigated him. He just believes it with no evidence. And these two idiots on the right will never say what the crime was that was committed by Democrats.
Are you saying that Donald Trump's Justice Department is going to manufacture evidence of crimes, or aren't you? Because if they're not, you have no reason to pardon these people. Well, you're not really answering the question. You're going on a diatribe.
Well, you're not letting me answer. You're not letting me answer the question.
Answer, but be
concise.
concise.
I believe
I actually want to hear it.
Okay. Well, actually, thank you so much for telling me how to speak. I
You're welcome.
think that Donald Trump just sent a very big message to Pam Bondi as to what he expects. And he expects her to start and to Kash Patel to start investigating these people. Whether they get indicted or not, it doesn't matter. It is expensive. It is consuming. And it becomes a huge pain in the you-know-what to be investigated by the federal authorities.
And if you don't do what he wants, he'll fire you, like he did that little elf, Jeff Sessions. Like, we all know this game.
And that is the message that he is sending.
Like the Russian collusion.
He knows full well that there is nothing that's been destroyed, because had it been destroyed, his lawyers would have filed a motion.
Yeah, but Julie, I would say to you,
they were not in a position where they could investigate
hang on.
They were not in a position to do that.
I would say to Julie, look, when you weaponize the justice system of the United States of America against a president of the United States, first ever criminal court case we've ever seen involving a president, and it's about shuffling some paperwork over an alleged one-night stand he denies with a porn star 18 years ago. When you render the justice system,
he's so disingenuous. Completely leaves out the documents case where he took those classified documents and refused to give it back over and over for months and months. How about when he pressured the Georgia, I forget what it was, state secretary or something like that, to find him 11,000 something votes? Like, this is truly unbelievable. This guy, Piers Morgan, he's so disgusting.
To be such a politically motivated farce, and most Americans actually thought that. When you do that as an administration, when you allow that to happen, you open up a whole can of worms. You've done it first. You've gone after this guy. You've tried everything you could, however petty, trivial, ridiculous, to try and put him in jail. And when it doesn't work and it actually backfires and it fuels him and he ends up winning big.
So you're talking about a state. So you're talking about
Piers,
a. By the way, Piers, you're talking about a state. You're talking about a state charge that has nothing to do with Joe Biden. If you're talking about the federal investigation,
I'm talking about Democrat-motivated prosecutors who were doing their master's lead, right?
Now you're making the assumptions again. And again, completely ignoring the other cases. And the January 6th case.
I don't know who you're talking about. If you're talking about the Justice Department, over which Donald Trump will have authority by appointing an attorney general, I am telling you that what the Justice Department under Joe Biden was investigating is the fact that Donald Trump refused to return classified information that he stored in his bathroom at Mar-a-Lago. It is the fact that he incited a violent riot that effectively harmed and hurt our transfer of power for the first time in our nation's history.
Well, you're now convicting him of all these crimes, which he's not being convicted of.
I'm not.
She did not convict him. This guy's such an idiot. She was saying what he was charged with and why he had to go to court and all these things. Trump is just trying to make it up because people went after him, because prosecutors and people did their jobs. And then they can't understand why we called him a cult, why we called Trump a fascist. One of the main parts of fascism is to oppress opposition. Like, how do they not? These people are just plain stupid. And then the one on the right, he's just a complete maniac. Look at his face. I mean, he's completely lost sight of reality.
None of them.
The only thing he's being convicted of is shuffling paperwork with a porn star. And let me rephrase. Hang on. Wait, let me rephrase what I was saying. I'm talking about weaponizing the justice system. Let's make it a more all-encompassing thing, where you have Democrat slanted prosecutors who just want to jail Trump, even if it's down for shuffling paperwork over a porn star. To me, it was utterly ridiculous, that case. And the idea that you then criminally convict...
I don't disagree with that.
Well, right. So my point is, I don't think anyone disagrees with it, really. So here's my point, is that as a Democrat, when you look at this, what's happening now, why wouldn't Trump do this? I mean, he's perfectly entitled to return the favor, isn't he? All's fair in love and politics.
To do what?
So they want us to not have just charged him for anything. So when what he did in January 6th and incited that insurrection, they were chanting, "Hang my Pence," and Trump said, maybe that should happen. This should not be investigated, is what he's basically saying. This is unbelievable.
To do what? Because
to be equally as aggressive. To be equally as aggressive.
He has specific crimes with which he was charged. What are the specific crimes with which you want to charge Liz Cheney? That she stood up to Donald Trump?
Well, that's not the point. That's not the point. Hang on, that's not the point.
As a congressperson?
No, but Julie, the point is, we don't know, because what is being mooted is that there are going to be blanket immunities against any crime that may have been committed, which does, I'm afraid, prompt the question, what are they hiding? Why are you so scared?
Because there's no crime. He's not understanding this. Because there's no crime, and Trump is talking about going after them. They're going to get their fees. It's obviously a financial attack to make them get gummed up in the court system. This is, rich people do this all the time.
Literally nothing there.
Well, first
if
of all,
none of them did anything wrong,
do you see Liz Cheney
why do you need blanket immunity?
Because you have a Justice Department that was just told in very clear terms by Donald Trump to the people that he's putting in there, whom he considers to be his loyalists, that he believes that these people committed crimes by investigating him. That is what they're looking into. Not that they might have smoked pot back in 1974 in college.
Why would you need a pardon for that,
Not that they might have driven drunk in 1983. For what?
Yeah, but why would you need a pardon for that? It makes no sense. So if Trump is investigating, hang on. Let me ask the question. Even if it were the case that Trump wanted to open an investigation as to whether or not there was foul play during the previous administration's investigations of him, why in the world would this require a pardon to these people? That makes no sense to me at all.
Because why would there be a requirement?
These guys are playing dumb because he's going after them for no reason. You have to still defend yourself and say, hey, I didn't do anything. And you have to hire lawyers. Like, these guys are complete maniacs. This is what I mean. There's no working with MAGA. That MAGA base, I'm sure there's some people on the right that you can peel away. But people like this MAGA base, the stronghold, they're completely psychotic. They're cultists. They like to use these words, and I don't even like to use. They're beta males. They'll bend to the knee to any of these rich psychopath assholes that tell them that reaffirm the things they already believe.
Because why do these people need to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees on dealing with BS? which is part of their oversight duties to have done.
We don't know
they
if
were
it's
members
BS.
of Congress.
We haven't investigated
they have
it yet. What are you talking about? So we just can't investigate anybody because it could be bad.
It is part of their,
no, we don't know.
It is part. Listen, do you understand how it works? Have you ever worked on the Hill? Because I can tell you, they have immunity as senators and Congress people to do their oversight responsibilities. There is
I thought you just said a second ago that there's going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees. Now you're backtracking on that?
Because, of course, you'll have to go, because you're going to have to go hire lawyers to be able to prove that this was part of their oversight.
I thought you just said they had immunity. Like, you can't have it both ways here.
This guy argues like a kid. He just doesn't, he's cornered. And so they have this tantrum. This is what they always do. So they play this little kid game. Well, I thought you said this. She's trying to explain it to you. Even though you have immunity, you still have to represent yourself in court. And that costs a lot of money. Like, it's like talking to a 6-year-old.
Jesus, do you understand how this works? Yeah. You have to get a lawyer to go to court to tell a judge.
Okay, so then
all of this.
So they don't have
you obviously
immunity?
don't understand how it works. You obviously don't. I'm sorry. Do you not understand what I'm getting here specifically?
Julie,
because you're,
no, I don't understand why these people
Julie,
need to have a part in, because they might be investigated for potential crimes they may have committed.
Can I tell you something?
They have nothing to worry about
because
there were no crimes.
What are the
then
crimes?
why do you need the pardon? It makes no sense.
No, but Brian.
Remember, he mentioned that there were crimes. Both of them said it. There were crimes. They did commit crimes. What other crimes? And they won't say it. They won't elaborate because they have no idea. They're fucking liars. They're cultists.
Hang on. And don't talk at once, please. Brian, you say, what are the crimes? That's the point. We don't know, and we may never know.
You're looking for crimes because Donald Trump is looking for crimes because he doesn't like Liz Cheney and the fact that she did oversight.
He genuinely believes she's committed crimes.
And guys, this is the same reason why they won't agree and say, yeah, Trump was right to be investigated, because they know at a drop of a hat they will be attacked by the MAGA cult and they will be out, and their ways of making money will be out the door. Even when it's right in their face, the objective truth, they just won't. They just won't commit to it. This is why it's dangerous to have someone like Trump. He's fascistic. He's dangerous.
Here's the point. To Julie's exact point. First of all, what crimes? Second of all, it costs money to get legal representation to go prove all of this stuff. And third of all, it's moot because all of these people have immunity anyway. You are allowed to act in your oversight capacity in Congress and the Senate to pass legislation to discuss this stuff.
You didn't care when Trump had to spend on lawyers. You didn't care about that.
But what law was broken? Yeah, you're right. They can't break the law, but there was no law that was broken. But it doesn't change the fact.
So why do you need an all-encompassing immunity if you've never broken the law?
Why do you need all-encompassing immunity if there's no laws broken?
I don't know.
Let me bring in Vinny.
I don't know if you guys are playing dumb or not, but the fact is,
I don't think it's us playing dumb, Brian.
It costs money to go forward with this.
Okay, I'm actually playing devil's advocate. I tell you what, look, hang on. I'm going to bring Vinny in, but I am playing devil's advocate here because I do think there's a shocking hypocrisy by the Democrats, led by Joe Biden. The whole year they banged on about the rule of law. No one's above the rule of law. And here is President Biden in his last few weeks basically riding roughshod over the rule of law to bail out all his family and all his mates.
You're pretending that it's happening in a vacuum. Piers, you're pretending that it's happening in a vacuum.
No, I'm not.
Because Donald Trump has come out and said that he's going to use...
I'm saying you reap what you sow, though. You reap what you sow.
But Donald Trump has promised to use his Justice Department as a vehicle to enact his personal retribution toward. That is why it's happening.
All right.
By pretending that there's...
Brian,
let me bring in Vinny.
Saying good for Brian. Good, because we want Brian. Good for him. If they did illegal shit, then go to jail. You guys are talking all that crap, and you're warning what Trump is going to do to what Biden and his DOJ has done this entire 4 years. Are you not seeing it? And
what
if you think you just feel bad because they're going to have to spend money, excuse me.
What do they do? Do you think Donald Trump should have stored his documents in Mar-a-Lago?
For them, Julie, spending money on lawyers? How much money have they gutted out of Donald Trump? How many people have suffered for that fake-ass crossfire hurricane?
Zero, because he had his campaign paid for everything. Zero,
Russia
because people like you sent money into him.
Hillary got fined. DNC got fined. You're not going to talk over me. Let me finish.
Guys, this is why I think Cenk and Anna Kasparian, they're grifting at this point. How do you work with these idiots? How do you work with... This is the base that they want us to go have a beer with after disagreeing. These people are absolute psychopaths. And he says some of the most racist, disgusting things. Like, these people are living in another world. They're conspiracy theorists. They're conspiracy brained.
Thank you. And your whole, he incited an insurrection. It's all bullshit. There was no insurrection. He said, go quiet, go peaceful, don't hurt anybody. It got out of hand, but well, the FBI can't even answer. How many FBI agents were on the ground? Ted Cruz asked her in Congress.
Oh my God.
How many of them incited violence? It's all fake.
Like listening
Nobody
to
got
a Facebook
arrested for
comment
If we're going to go
section.
down the conspiracy rabbit hole, there's no point in even talking about this because it's like
Yeah,
one
I
person
know.
is saying that the Earth is round
Again,
and somebody else is saying
it
the
doesn't
Earth is
fit your
flat.
narrative.
You're a
It doesn't
flat
fit your
earther,
narrative.
and there's no point in
Facebook comment
debating.
section
All right,
comes
don't
It
talk at
doesn't
once.
fit your
You're a
narrative.
flat
Don't
earther.
talk at once.
and there's
Although
no
I
point
would
in
say,
debating.
Julie, hang on.
Yes, label them like that. This is what I try to do here. You're a flat earther. You're a racist. You're a fascist. Whenever you do these things, give them these one words. This is how these small brain people think. Because that's exactly what you are. You're a beta male. And what she said about flat earther is perfect. That's exactly what it is. These people are living in la la land. And it's important to do that because I do believe there are at least some people on the right that don't agree with this psychotic behavior. And the more you point this out of how crazy these people are, how QAnon, just conspiracy brained, how they attach this to racism, fascism, all these different things, all forms of bigotry. And I think you can start peeling away at least some of the more level-headed right wingers. And it's also to motivate left wingers to vote and stop this stuff from being in power. Stop these idiots from getting a chance at power.
I would say, Julie, if we're going to go down conspiracy routes, I do remember a 2-year conspiracy being peddled by almost everyone in the American media that Trump had the election fixed by his collusion with Vladimir Putin, which turned out to be horseshit.
That's right.
So, it does depend which conspiracy theory you want to hitch
Is
your
that in
home
relation to Robert Mueller's
Excuse me.
investigation?
I don't recall ever saying that Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump colluded to steal the election. So let's not say that everybody
but a lot
was
of
saying
people
it.
did.
I will say to you,
And the
if you
media
think-
did fuel that
if you
bullshit
think-
for 2 years.
Okay, but you're asking me to debate. But Piers, you're asking right now for me to debate somebody who thinks that January 6th was a peaceful protest that got out of hand because the FBI set up these poor MAGA people to go beat up cops.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, if we're going to have that kind of conversation,
They did.
if we're going to have
They
that kind
can't
of
even
conversation,
admit
stop
it.
screaming in my ear, please.
Why
If we're
did-
going to have that
Hey,
kind of
Julie,
conversation,
why did
All right,
Nancy
hang on,
Pelosi
hang
turn
on.
down
It's
National
debating
Guard?
the Earth is
Why
flat.
did they not want the National
All right,
Guard there?
just for the record-
Why did Stephen Son, the chief of Capitol
the
Police,
National
say
Guard-
that they were requesting help, and she denied it? She's on camera. You're
Okay.
delusional. Okay?
If you're
Insurrection. And I
going
I actually
to
thought.
go down
Hang
your
on.
rabbit hole,
Hang
I'm
on.
not interested.
Hang on.
Good.
I actually
I'm
thought
not interested.
the most interesting.
Guys, how do you work with someone like this? She's looking at him like he's out of his mind. Guys, and there's a lot of people who listen to this stuff. He's from PBD's panel. He's not the only one that thinks this way. He's just there's something wrong with this guy. He needs psychiatric help. Veins coming out of his neck. His head is going to explode. Look how red he is. How do you meet halfway with someone that they're living in la la land?
Point that Trump made in relation to all that was the different double standard. I thought what happened on January 6th was appalling. And I think that a lot of people behaved extremely badly, and a lot of them should have gone to prison, which they did. I think maybe it was overdone, and some of them got ridiculously long sentences. But I thought the point that Trump made about the hypocrisy and double standard of how, for example, the BLM rioters were treated with the devastating damage that they caused, I thought it was a very good point. And I think, again, it comes back to the hypocrisy, right? Democrats cheered on the BLM rioters. That was all in the cause of tackling racism. But here you have people who believe they were standing up for democracy. I don't agree that they were right. They shouldn't have been doing it.
Democrats
But there was
cheered
a
on the
double.
BLM
But Julie,
rioters?
hang on, Julie. There was a double
wait,
standard. There was a double standard in how the different types of protesters got treated. There was.
Piers, if you're suggesting that Democrats cheered on BLM rioters,
No.
They
which
gave them
Democrats cheered on
entire
They bailed them out
cities
of
to
prison.
destroy.
What?
They gave them whole cities to
crazies
destroy.
on the
They-
left
they
cheered
tore
on
them
BLM
off.
rioters? And you're saying
Yeah.
the Democratic
Yes.
Party cheered them on?
Yes.
Really? You're saying
Absolutely.
that? You're
They
saying
bailed
that
them out of
Hakeem
jail.
Jeffries
Every- hang on,
and you're
hang on,
saying
listen,
that
I'll
Nancy
answer to this.
Pelosi
What are you
Let me-
talking about?
cheered on
Yes, let me
people
answer
who were
to
rioting
this.
and
The buildings
looting
were
during
burning
the
in
Black
the back,
Lives
and on
Matter
CNN.
Yes.
They were saying it was a
Yes,
peaceful
that's what I'm
protest.
saying.
Show
You're
me.
delusional.
Show me.
You're
Show me
delusional.
where Nancy Pelosi at the time was saying that. Show
All right.
me where
Not just-
show me where Joe Biden
the
or Nancy
entire
Pelosi or
Democrat-
Kamala Harris
the
or
entire
anybody
Democrat
else was saying
Too
establishment
that.
busy getting on her knees.
You know what
in
we need
Congress.
now? You know what we need now? We need a group handshake, and which
All right, I'm going to end it there, but he just keeps screaming, delusional, delusional. It's almost like he's trying to tell himself something. Dude, you're delusional, Vinny. There's something wrong with you. Trump sat there for 3 hours, over 3 hours, and watched these people riot and didn't stop it. His own daughter was trying to get him to stop it, and he couldn't. That's what those testimonies proved. This guy is a nut job. And to bring BLM into this, of course, they had to bring in the black community. I'm sorry, but they were fighting for a just cause, an objective cause of police brutality amongst black Americans in this country. It has been out of hand, and it was getting more out of hand. So yes, people rioted. Were people cheering that stores or whatever were being broken? No. Was it understandable? Sure. What happened January 6th was just a bunch of losers, sore losers. And the truth is, it was a bunch of cultists. And Trump told them that the election was stolen. And because they're so culty, he could tell them to do whatever. And he told them to go to the Capitol and that we have to stop this, right? Trial by combat, Rudy Giuliani and all these idiots. They knew they were inciting violence. This is exactly what they wanted. And that's why Trump didn't try to stop it. Hang Mike Pence, right? But guys, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments. I don't think there's any working with these people. I think we scour this ideology off the society. But I'll catch you in the next one.